Did you know that the Israel-Palestine conflict is one of the longest-running disputes in modern history, stretching back over a century? It's a story filled with passion, pain, and a deep struggle for identity and land that continues to affect millions of lives today. In the next few minutes, I'll take you through a concise overview of this complex conflict, its historical roots, and the ongoing implications that echo around the world. At the heart of the Israel-Palestine conflict are several intertwined issues: territorial disputes, national identities, and a humanitarian crisis that has persisted for decades. The land that both Israelis and Palestinians claim as their own is steeped in historical significance for both groups. For Jews, it's the ancestral homeland promised in biblical texts, while for Palestinians, it's their home, where generations have lived and cultivated the land. The clash over who has the rightful claim to this territory is not just about land. It's about identity, culture, and existence itself. The humanitarian aspect cannot be overlooked either, as the ongoing violence and political strife have led to immense suffering, displacement, and a dire need for basic necessities among many Palestinians. To understand the conflict better, we need to explore the key events that have shaped it. It all began in the late 19th and early 20th centuries with the rise of nationalist movements among both Jews and Arabs. The Balfour Declaration of 1917 marked a significant turning point when the British government expressed support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This declaration was met with resistance from the Arab population, who felt threatened by the influx of Jewish immigrants fleeing persecution in Europe. Tensions escalated, leading to violence and riots over the years, as both sides laid claim to the same land. Fast forward to 1947, when the United Nations proposed a partition plan to create separate Jewish and Arab states. The plan was accepted by Jewish leaders, but rejected by Arab leaders, leading to the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. The aftermath saw the establishment of Israel, but also the Nakba, or catastrophe, for Palestinians, resulting in the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from their homes. This event is a foundational moment in Palestinian history, creating a deep-rooted sense of loss and injustice that fuels the conflict to this day. As we move through the decades, we encounter the Six-Day War in 1967, another key moment that dramatically reshaped the landscape. Israel's swift victory led to the occupation of the West Bank, Gaza Strip, and East Jerusalem, territories that Palestinians claim for their future state. This occupation has been a source of ongoing tension, as it raises questions about sovereignty, human rights, and the viability of a two-state solution. The Oslo Accords in the 1990s brought a glimmer of hope, establishing the Palestinian Authority and setting a framework for peace negotiations. However, the promise of peace has repeatedly faltered, undermined by continued settlement expansion, violence, and political divisions on both sides. Today, the conflict remains a complex web of grievances, aspirations, and fears. On one hand, you have Israelis who seek security and recognition of their state, a place where they can live free from the threat of violence. On the other, you have Palestinians who strive for self-determination, justice, and the right to return to their homes. Each side has its narratives, shaped by history and experience, and understanding these perspectives is crucial for anyone trying to grasp the nuances of the conflict. As we reflect on the significant turning points, it becomes clear that they have lasting implications for the current situation. The legacy of wars, treaties, and failed negotiations has created a cycle of mistrust and hostility. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza, characterized by blockades, poverty, and limited access to essential services, underscores the urgent need for a resolution. Meanwhile, the West Bank faces its own challenges, with ongoing settlement expansion complicating the possibility of a contiguous Palestinian state. In summary, the Israel-Palestine conflict is not just a historical dispute. It is a living reality that continues to evolve. The complexity of the issues at play, from territorial claims to national identities and humanitarian crises, makes finding a solution incredibly challenging. Yet, the desire for peace and coexistence remains strong among many on both sides. It's crucial to recognize that this conflict is not merely about politics or land. It's about people, real lives affected by decisions made in distant offices and negotiations held behind closed doors. As we wrap up, I encourage you to think about the multifaceted nature of this conflict and its implications for the future. Your thoughts are invaluable, so please leave your comments below. If you found this overview helpful, don't forget to check out my other videos where I delve into related historical conflicts and the lessons we can learn from them. Thank you for joining me in this exploration, and let's continue the conversation about peace, understanding, and the path forward. https //videogen.eu via IE William Agnew